Yeah.
Oh, it's right before it. So it's just a bunch of.
Brandon, can you move about 6 inches to your left? So, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Does everybody have parts covered the way that makes sense? I mean, you know, look at the score. So we're starting at 146?
Yes.
Ending where?
165.
Got it.
All right, guys, I hope you're having a really, really good Monday. We're going to get right into it at 145, and we're going to play that little chunk there at 165, 146 to 165. We're going to do the pickup. So let's go ahead and start right in. So that last measure, or I think that last measure there, nobody really had anything. So except for our bass drum there. Would you be able to play that on the side of the snare drum?
Which part?
Bass drum.
I will do my best.
Okay. So I want to real quickly talk about something, and it's going to be a little bit of a rhythm. And if I'm not speaking loud enough, just let me know, because I can't really tell what it means. So we've got a couple of notes that look like something a little bit like this, and followed generally by 2 eighth notes. So go ahead and raise your hand for me if you have this in your part anywhere. All right, so I got 3. So this can be a little bit tricky, especially for stuff like this. So we're going to sizzle this, and I'll demonstrate it for you. It'll be. All right. So all of my people who aren't playing that, can I have you clap 8th notes for me? So. Okay. Great. And then I'm going to have the rest of you, the 3 of you that actually have this. We're going to sizzle this on repeat. Just ignore my drawing. So we're going to sizzle that on repeat, and then I'm going to have everybody else clap for me. So go ahead and clappers. 2 and 1 and. All right, sizzle this. Okay, good. That's good. Something I would like you to do is make it a little bit lighter because it can be a bit heavy. So make sure you're really lifting off the notes. So give it a little bit of a bouncy feel because that's kind of the style we're in right now. All right, let's go ahead and have everybody start back at the parallel. We're going to trucks. Start back at 154. Ow. 146. Sorry, I got a page. Start back at 146 and go to 154. So that was really good. I really like what Brandon was doing with his notes down there. If you could just make it a little bit lighter when you're playing, but other than that, I thought it sounded great. Can I have just my soprano sax or my flute play there? Because it's kind of like a counter melody to what she's playing. I'm not sure. You're playing the trumpet part right now. Yes. Okay. All right. Go ahead and start back at 146. Austin, I really liked what you were doing. I thought your dynamic was great. Could you lift a little bit off of the 16th note? So what Austin has is something like that. So if any of the rest of you see this, I think some of you also have this. Make sure we're lifting off of this note a little bit, so it's gonna. So everybody, can we actually, everybody sizzle this with me? I'll clap for you. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, yeah. I like the way you guys are doing it. Just lift off of it a little bit more, and the kind of the way to think about that is like think of like lifting with like your diaphragm here, where you're breathing from. So. All right, everybody back in at 146. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off percussion over there. A couple more things to note. So at 154, we have a crescendo, and I heard Austin do that, and I heard Sydney do that, but can I get the rest of you to crescendo a little bit more? And also, we have a sforzando at 160, which, if you don't know what that means, it means just get really, really loud, really fast. So can I have, or no, that's a forte piano. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. So let me actually fix that. So you get really loud and really quiet really fast. So, like, bow. I don't know of a better way to describe that. So let's start at 154 and let's see if we can get some of those dynamic things in there. So one last thing that I have to mention here, we've got a lot of marcatos here, and we want to make sure that we're playing at a lot of marks, so like a little bit harder, a little bit punchier on the front of the note. So I think I've got my my alto saxes that are playing that, and then I've also got looks like okay, keep going. Okay. So alto sax, make sure that you're really punching on the mark notes there at 160, and also flute and soprano sax / trumpet. Make sure we're really marking those notes. So let's go from 150.
We are going to stop right there for time. Good job, Andrew. Comments? Presley.
Every time you would conduct, you kind of just like look down at your score and saving your score. And I think if you just memorized how many measures you were going to conduct, like 8 bars, and look at us, I think it would like mean more to us, and like maybe to give us like a style like lighter mark.
Especially when you're starting them.
Okay.
Because I mean, there were a couple times where you were like this.
Yeah.
And it was like there was just no energy. Because
Okay.
it didn't match the style of the music. Okay, good. What other comments? Austin.
There were moments where you would give us instruction and then you would do something else instead of working on it. Like
Yeah.
you worked on that rhythm and then you went back to 146.
Yeah.
And that rhythm doesn't exist in that section. Then you also talked about like the crescendo, and then you just kind of moved on. So making sure you go back and reinforce whatever you're talking about.
Anyone else? Okay, a couple things, Andrew. Careful with the word with my. Like you say, my alto sax or my soprano sax. I mean, I think you can say soprano sax or the soprano sax section. It's just the message it sends is a little me.
Sure.
Has Dr. Larson mentioned that at all to anybody ever? No? Okay, because I know that's a kind of a pushing button of hers as well.
Okay.
So try and word it a little bit differently.
Okay.
I think that you didn't really address me until the very end.
Yeah.
Now, you got up there and you had them do the clapping thing and the sizzling thing. I sizzled. What could I have done differently?
I could have had you air stick your
Or-
rhythm with the bar.
Right? I could have even played on the rim if you didn't want it to be loud, like a snare drum. So just, guys, make sure you're paying attention to the percussion. I mean, it's really important that you do that. Okay, pay attention to the percussion. Okay, good. Thank you, Andrew. Brandon is up. How far are you going, Brandon?
165 to 185.
65.